So,
Insatiable.
Yeah.
So you finished it, and it was weird.
It's so weird. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know what this show is trying to say.
What do you think it's trying to say? What are some ideas?
So it has something to say about sexuality.
Mm-hmm. It does have something to say about it.
Whether that's positive or negative, I'm still not sure. Because it kind of presents two ideas, and it doesn't really say either is wrong, because it kind of presents both sides as problematic, I think.
Doesn't it just?
It's really, I feel like it doesn't make sense to me. Like, okay, we can go into it like in a sec. I just want to go through like all of the confusing things that I find in the show.
Absolutely.
So like, fat shaming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really have no idea. Like, okay, so it has this one scene that's really harrowing, and like it was like they just cut all the sound. And it's just her eating cake, and that was fucked up.
That was fucked up.
I don't know.
That made me viscerally uncomfortable to the point where I had to stop watching it after that and like go on a walk.
Jeez.
It was awful.
It's really, I don't understand. I don't know what the show is.
And furthermore, to that point, she does that, and yet never once do they say binge eating disorder in the entire show.
It's like you had the opportunity to.
I kept waiting. Where was it? They just didn't do it.
It's very sad.
Very sad.
And then it was also mental health. That's the other thing that I noted in the show that was like, what are they trying to say with this? You actually pointed this out to me because I didn't really pick up on this.
Yeah.
That like all the people with mental health are kind of portrayed as villains, like even the main character.
So dastardly.
It's insane. Like they're comic book villains. It's really not okay.
No, it's not. They're all violent, villainous cretins.
They really are.
And they're all out to get each other.
Yeah, it's not healthy for anyone.
No.
And no one wins.
No.
In fact, everyone loses in this show.
Everyone loses.
Wow, I didn't even. That's crazy.
I wonder if we're supposed to like any of the characters, because I sure as hell didn't.
Yeah, it's like I really
like
wanted
Brick.
to. He's a genuine person.
And Nani.
Yes.
And her girlfriend, I forget her name.
Same.
Sam?
No, same.
Same.
Also don't know.
It's something.
Yeah, that's the title of this show. Something.
It sure happened.
Yep. It's very uncomfortable.
Yep. Okay, what did you think about so Dixie, she says all of the things about like her diagnostic list, like the OCD, ADD, whatever, and then like the very next scene with her in it, I believe, it's been a minute since I watched it, but is when she bites her in the neck.
Oh my god, that was the fucking craziest scene I've ever, like, I don't understand why they did that. I really, like, there's no actual logic to it. They just made her look like an actual, like, monster.
Yeah.
Like, a genuine monster.
She was, like, doing it just for the crown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. The motivations for all the characters are pretty superficial.
They're so shallow.
Yeah, it's really sad.
They're all so shallow. And Patty is the worst person I have ever seen written.
Yep. The turnarounds are really what frustrated me, like where she would like realize that like I'm a bad person, and then the next episode.
That was incredibly frustrating. I hate it when that happens. I write with other people a lot of the time, and sometimes the person that I'm writing with will do that with characters, and it is endlessly frustrating. So when I was watching Insatiable and that kept happening, I was like, this is bad writing. It is not well thought out. It is not well planned, and they aren't having any follow through on what they're setting up.
No, they really aren't. And plotlines come out of nowhere. They just like decide this is happening now, and it is, but for what reason?
Yep. Why?
That's
the writer, she said, I don't want to misquote her, so it's like with a grain of salt, but she said that she was writing it because of, I think I told you this, because she grew up fat and had this fever dream or daydream, not a fever dream, that is the wrong term. She had a daydream all the time of like her getting into some thing that made her super skinny really fast without any effort, right? And then she was hot and she would get everything that she had ever wanted just because she was hot. And so like the point that she said she was trying to make was that sometimes you can get skinny and hot and then your life will suck. Essentially. That is extreme paraphrasing,
Right.
but that was the point that she was making, is
Okay.
like you can get skinny and then your life will not be any better for it. But I feel like it was poorly executed.
Yes, that's the main problem with this, is the execution.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really subpar. I hate to really insult the show, but
I mean, I'm not afraid to insult the show. I think it was ugly.
okay,
The
yeah.
whole thing.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a strong opinion. I appreciate
is.
that.
The only thing that I appreciated about it was the sexuality piece.
It did
to
try with that.
It did.
Did
I
fairly
think
good
it
job.
did an okay job with
Yeah,
the sexuality.
like it went better than I was expecting it to.
Yeah.
Like I was very uncomfortable when they first introduced that. It really looked like they were trying to do like this stereotypical like concept of like the guy who's not straight and then he's just blows up his whole life and just like,
Yeah.
not that doesn't happen, but like it's a stereotype. It's just
It
like,
is a stereotype.
How are we doing that?
They also, I feel like they could have done more to take Bob's characterization out of that flamboyant, closeted, unaware gay man. Like, I felt like that was just really kitschy. And I was worried for a while that it was just going to be queer baiting. You think that he's gay, but then he's just not. And they're like, haha, wouldn't it be funny if somebody was flamboyant but a straight...
They sure do have fun with that joke for a long time. And then even when they like reveal his sexuality, they still like kind of poke fun at the idea of like obviously he was gay the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
It's just like,
Yeah. But then with Nani, that's also a stereotype though.
Yeah.
The gay girl in denial, in love with her best friend,
yeah.
who is straight, who will never love her back, pining, etc., etc.
I like worry if like someone's gonna see that and be like, that's the ideal, like somehow interpret that as being like the ideal relationship or something like that, and that's not good.
No, I worry about that with like everything in that show.
Fair
is
enough.
that people are gonna watch that and be like, yeah, I could be that way.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know, like, so what are the long-term effects of this show is like, I feel like what we have to consider in order to like really decide if this is a good show or not. Like if it's actually like, if it's, not just if it's a good show, if it's problematic, you know?
If it's problematic.
Yeah. Like is that going to happen? Are people going to be influenced by the show and think like, yeah, I'm gonna follow the example set by Patty or one of the other characters.
Well, I don't know what you know about being a teen girl.
I know nothing about that.
Well, let me tell you, seeing something like that when I was like 13, 14 would have, I don't want to say it would be catastrophic, but it would definitely be detrimental, and it would have had an effect on me. Like, even me now as an adult woman, seeing that, my next few meals were a little bit harder than they had to be.
Jeez.
Because I was thinking in the patterns that Patty thinks in and that the people around her think in about, like, junk food. Like, she's not allowed to eat any of it after she gets skinny or she's gonna blow up, you know? Like,
which they did. Like, they had her for like a week, right? You explained this as well. Like,
yes.
Like,
oh my God. Scientifically, her relapse, which is really more of a lapse into the binge eating disorder, calling it for what it is.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. She eats for a week. She binges for a week every day, you know? And then she has suddenly gained a noticeable amount of weight. Excuse me?
It struck me more than I was expecting it to, because you, like, warned me about it, but then I was like, wait, what the fuck? That's, like, it's excessive. It's, like, more than a human being can do. I don't understand.
It is gratuitous.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The show is gratuitous in its portrayal of this woman's daydream or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever she used this platform to work through, I feel, and this is going to sound really mean, would have been best kept in therapy because she's using a platform. She's using Netflix. She's getting actresses like, oh God, is it Alyssa Milano?
Yeah.
And Debbie Ryan. Those are some big names.
Sure are.
And it's going to attract a lot of buzz. It did. And it's going to attract a lot of traffic. To put that out there
Dangerous.
is dangerous. There are young girls with eating disorders. Not just binge eating disorder, but also restrictive eating disorders and eating disorders not otherwise specified, who are going to watch that and use it. They're going to attach to that. They're going to see those people saying skinny is magic, and they're going to see the characters like slapping donuts out of Patty's hand when she just wants to, you know, enjoy things in moderation. And they're going to see her binge for a week and then blow up like she did. And they're going to hear all of the fat shaming, and they're going to see all of this inaccurate portrayal of what eating disorders are like and how recovery is, and like what is moderate and what isn't, and what does self-worth mean in this show. And it's just going to implode.
Wow.
And it's just so frustrating to me as somebody who has been a young troubled girl in the past and had negative media influences, to know what I know now and see something like that be pushed out onto the open market. It's just, it sucks.
Yeah. Have there been any shows like this that, like, have had such a powerful, like, reference to something, some issue, some social issue or a psychological issue that have had this much of an impact, I think, on society? Can you think of any? I personally can't at the moment, but
13 Reasons Why was similar.
Yeah, that's exactly, perfect example.
I mean, not with glamorizing eating disorders the way that Insatiable does, but in glamorizing suicidality.
Right.
And again, it's a Netflix show.
Right? What is up with Netflix?
What are they doing?
It's like they... Oh, man.
It's like they're like, controversial, damaging. Let's give it to the children.
Yeah. It's really worrying. I don't
Yeah.
know who's in charge up there, but they need to work on that.
They do. They really do. Yeah. So yeah, 13 Reasons Why. That's another one up there. And it wasn't even that long ago.
Right. It's recent. Okay, so... I feel like we went through like a lot of the things in the show that are problematic.
Yeah.
So like now to go like macro with it, if you will.
I will go macro with it.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So we kind of already talked about like the impact on people, but going forward, like what would you tell someone who is watching this show? Perhaps a teenage girl, but it could be anyone, because honestly, like this show is, has a lot of issues.
Hypothetical situation, scene building.
Okay, ready?
Okay, I really set myself up for failure here. Okay, so in any scene that is being set, a young girl comes up to me that I know personally and is like, hey, I watched this show Insatiable. It's really fucking with me in X, Y, and Z way. I would say to her that it is bullshit.
Okay.
And that the entire thing is more of an example of what not to think, do, say, and act like than it is anything else. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
The whole thing. It angered me.
Understandably so.
So that's what I would say. I wouldn't have very much counteractive advice except for that. Maybe just like tell them not to watch it. Jesus Christ.
Right.
Like just say stay as far away from that garbage heap as possible.
And we talked about the marketing too. Like it was definitely marketed towards like younger people.
It was marketed towards what I feel is like the young to mid-teen girl demographic. Maybe some tweens in there. Because of Debbie Ryan. She's from Jessie. They're going to be all over that.
Yeah, that's true.
They're going to be like, wow, I love her.
They really picked an interesting main character.
They did. Let's dive into Patty a little bit.
Yeah, what's her deal?
What's her deal? What do you think about her?
I think that she genuinely has moments where she like means well and she's like trying to be a good person, but then she'll do something that is truly horrific. And I just like, well, what happened to the thing you just said? Didn't you she like literally like there was a scene where she's like says like, okay, I'm gonna like she questions whether everything she's done has been like wrong. And then the next scene she's like, yeah, so what? I'm gonna continue doing the bad thing, and then she kills someone. And what? I don't understand why you would even write it that way. Like,
Yep. I was waiting hand and foot for the redemption arc, and it never came.
Yeah.
It just got worse.
Yeah, she really did get worse.
Instead of redemption arc, it was like concave.
Yes.
She just slides down. I thought it was really... It was interesting, it was confusing, and not cohesive. Her character, the way that she was portrayed as, God, I hate even saying it, but portrayed as Fatty Patty versus just like Patty.
Right.
Which is how they differentiated it in the show, which is stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, like she was portrayed before as being very romantic, being very sweet and shy and, very low impact on an alignment chart. At worst, she would be lawful neutral,
Right. Yeah.
Or like true neutral,
Yeah.
But then suddenly she becomes chaotic evil.
Yeah.
Like overnight,
It's
she's
crazy.
just chaotic evil all the way. And that's not how alignment works.
True.
I know that's D&D terms, but it applies to characters in any work of fiction.
Yeah. I think so.
Everybody has like a way that they are. And if they're going to switch, something needs to happen that is more significant. Like, I understand that perhaps getting punched in the face, her jaw broken, wired shut, was traumatic for her. But I feel like more would need to happen for her to just become so evil.
Right. Like, almost possessed level evil.
Mm-hmm. Insatiable, even.
There we go. That was better.
Yeah. No, it was confusing. I didn't get it. I don't think... Like, it does come across as some angsty daydream.
Definitely not a good
from
thing.
somebody stuck in some shit. Like, which is what it is.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be.
What do you think was Patty's worst moment?
That is a difficult question.
Because she does, like, okay.
Okay, you have to come up with one, too.
Okay, I will. All right, I will. I don't want to use the murder one just because, like, that's
Just
like...
because that's, like,
obvious.
obviously, yeah. Murder trumps the other things.
True.
But, okay, so except the murder, what was the worst thing Patty did? Oh, I know.
Okay.
Do you have one?
I do.
Okay. Mine is when she outs Bob.
Damn it, I was going to use that.
It's the same one because it's despicable.
It really is. Like,
It's disgusting.
it's just, like, in this moment of, like, complete hatred for another human being, she just chooses to, like, destroy everything that he's, like...
She made it about her.
Yeah. Which is really crazy.
Yeah. Somebody having a sexuality crisis is not to be trifled with. It is never, ever your place as not the person having the sexuality crisis to divulge that information to everyone.
Like, his life, like, kind of blew up. Like, I don't know, it's just like, I don't think she cared at all. Like, she seemed like kind of, she's more upset that he was upset at her than she was at what she did.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe that's the problem with her as a character. She just doesn't have empathy, maybe?
At all?
Which,
like,
again,
she's a sociopath?
Yeah, like, maybe she just
that
becomes
makes
sociopath,
sense.
which doesn't track with, like, the earlier thing, like, her personality before.
You don't just become a sociopath.
Exactly.
You either are or you are not.
True.
And anybody who can get that into Drew Barrymore movies would have to be real empathetic.
Like, she has, like, little moments where she's, like, she could be a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
But then crazy moments.
Yep.
So, like, what are they trying to do, really, is my question.
I don't know. Honestly, what I just keep going back to with the purpose is I feel like this is a journal entry for the person who wrote the show.
Right.
And that is...
not a good idea to
not
make
a good
that
idea.
public.
Yeah. If you need to work something out, you can always write the letter and then not send it.
Right.
You know? That's a normal thing to
Yeah.
do because sometimes sending it is a worse idea.
That's very true.
Yeah. Can we talk about the fat shaming?
Yeah. It's pretty prevalent, and it's like, it's in the DNA of the show, really, which is really the opposite of what the creator was going for. Again,
Yeah.
I feel like we keep coming back to the same points because it's just, like, so obvious that, like, there is a problem with the show.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm trying to think of, like, a really, really obvious moment of fat shaming.
How about when... Well, I mean, any of the very beginning, when she still is, or, like, the flashbacks to when she was.
Yeah.
But when she asks, or when Nani asks Brick out for her, and then Brick is like, oh, you thought just because I was nice to you Oh, that's so sad.
Jesus. That's crazy. And that was like the first couple minutes of the show?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Yeah, it was.
They set the tone real quickly.
They did. But the thing about that is also, like, the way Brick is portrayed later in the show doesn't align with that portrayal of him earlier on anyway. Like, he's super sweet. He's very nice.
Yeah.
And a good person who doesn't deserve any of what happens, but...
Very true.
You know? I mean, he's kind of a dumbass, but I don't think that he would be just cruel like that. To me, Brick seems like more the type of person who would be like, oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't want to do that with you. Instead of being like, oh, you thought that just because I was nice to you that I wanted to date you? Begone, whore. You know?
Jesus. Yeah. That's... yeah. It's almost like the show has like two... It's like a split personality. Like, it's just like two completely different shows.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then she gets skinny. And he's like, oh, that's not Patty. Patty's huge.
Right?
It's like, no, you can still recognize somebody when they lose weight, first of all. Second of all, stop being an asshole.
True.
Like, body type has anything to do with the quality of a person.
Oh, God.
That's what it is.
Oh, wow.
That the show
Yeah.
is saying, like, the entire time, is that body type has something to do with the quality of a person.
And it's interesting because it's almost like both saying that, like, it makes you a better person and it makes you a worse person at the same time.
On either end of the spectrum.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
I understand how someone could be really messed up over the show. Like,
Right.
It's just a lot of questions.
It's not a good message, and it's not cohesive in any way, shape, or form. I do like Debbie Ryan, though.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's
right?
cool. I didn't think that all of the acting sucked.
Right. There was some solid moments in there.
Yeah.
Like, I think I liked Bob Armstrong's style of, like, overreacting. I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he acted like a child, and it was just like, I just appreciate that.
It was
kind of
funny,
humor.
yeah.
So, like, there are good things in the show.
There are good moments.
But
The Saving Grace.
yeah.
Nani.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good person.
Love her. Delightful.
And she's like a normal human being. Like, she actually behaves the way human. So, like, they can write a good character, but, like, just not for any of the other characters.
Yeah.
No sense.
It's kind of telling that the character that the writer was modeling herself after.
Oh. She hates herself. Oh,
She hates herself.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's not good.
No.
We need to take her to therapy.
Is she okay?
Like, I'm
Can I
really
introduce
worried
her to
about
my therapists? She needs some help.
Yeah.
But Nani is beautiful, inside and out.
True.
And I loved the, C plot with her dad in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, where he's like a cop and she was so scared about him not accepting her sexuality, but he was just real chill about it.
Yeah.
That was nice.
That's where they got sexuality right, I think.
Yeah.
More so than with Bob. Either Bob, honestly.
Yeah, and I like how she stood up to Patty. And she was like, no, you suck. Goodbye.
She should be the main character of this show.
Maybe she is the main character.
And it's just like.
She's a secret hero.
She really is. Like,
she sets a good example.
That's really interesting. Like, that they were really off base with this main character.
Yeah.
And the actions that she took.
Right? But I like that Nani was like, oh, my friend is terrible. Maybe I will not be her friend anymore because this is a disaster.
Right.
Every day is a catastrophic disaster. And she does horrible, horrible things all the time. And maybe I won't be her friend. and then I'll stick to that, and it'll be good. I liked that.
Yeah, it was this. I thought I was genuinely surprised by that because like they made it kind of seem like she wasn't gonna develop past Patty.
Yeah, they did, and then she did. I love character growth.
Yes. Thank you for some actual character growth in
Right.
a show that has 0.
Right?
Or some
Isn't that
negative
good?
character growth. Yeah.
It does. Oh, God.
Wow.
Wow. They really didn't let any of those characters grow and change, huh?
No.
I thought Dixie was going to be harmless.
Yeah.
She's just kind of dumb.
But she's like, I don't know, really terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like just so many different ways. And is it weird how some of the characters just kind of dropped off towards the end? Like,
Yeah.
they just like disappeared. Like I didn't see Dixie for the last like 3 episodes. I don't
Right.
remember. Or
She wasn't dead.
where was she?
Not being paraplegic somewhere with her terrible predatorial mother.
Yeah, and she was happy about her predatory nature. She was like okay with it. It was weird.
Yeah. Oh, God. That was really fucked up.
Yeah.
The show, it has a lot going on, doesn't it?
So much fucked up shit in the show.
The false accusations against Bob being a child molester, that just keeps being revisited.
Why? Why would you do that?
Unnecessary. Just leave that at home.
Right? There's no need for that. And then also the whole like everyone wants to fuck someone who they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Unhealthy. Very, very not okay.
Very unhealthy. And the fact that Regina is the one who accuses Bob in the first place and then fails to see that she is sleeping with a 17-year-old.
I mean, that is really
And that it's not okay. She doesn't care. They're all sociopaths.
That's what it is. Okay. Yeah, that's the real problem.
Yeah.
here. Just a cast full of sociopaths.
Yep.
Ugh.
I feel bad for Bob.
Which Bob?
Flamboyant Bob.
Yes. Yes.
I feel bad for him. His life really sucks.
Yeah, it does.
He's not a sociopath.
No. He's just trying to exist in this world full
Yeah.
of monsters.
He's got some issues,
Yeah.
but he really doesn't deserve all that happens.
True. His life gets exploded twice by Patty, actually.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
And then the ending
Yeah.
where he's gonna kill himself again.
For the second time in this fucking show, man.
And Patty calls him again, but this time she's like, "Hello, I have killed 2 people. Save me." And then he does?
Yeah, why did he help her?
No, man, it's not that big a deal, dude. So your marriage is falling apart, right?
Yeah.
And you're having trouble with your sexuality, and it feels like the end of the world. It isn't. You don't have to go help become an accessory to murder
Which
about it.
fails phenomenally. I mean, they're really bad at covering up this murder.
They are. The car doesn't even sink.
It's perfect.
They're
Perfect
so
moment.
stupid about it. That's not the way to do that. Ugh. But what he should have done in that moment where Patty was like, "I've killed 2 people, help me with it," is like, "Okay, tell me where you are." He gets her location and sends the police to her.
That's-
And then she gets put the fuck in jail where she belongs.
Yeah, she does. She tried to kill a man before.
Right.
So I guess we should have seen it coming, but
And then he gets vindication. And he can feel less terrible because at least he's put the monster behind bars and
True.
brought reckoning onto the
Yes.
city that they live in.
just a little bit of peace finally.
Yeah, and empowerment. Like he could have been empowered, but instead he was a weasel.
And he was.
Just went along with it because he was suicidal. Like that takes away a person's moral compass and ability to think rationally about if somebody calls you and says they've murdered 2 people, what do you do about it?
Oh, wow. The show has... again, more problems. We keep identifying problems with the show. It's crazy. There's just so many.
Are there more good things than Nani?
Really? I think they're all based on Nani, you know? Those are... So, like, if we had to divide the show up, there's things centered around Nani, and then there's things centered around Patty.
Yeah.
Those are the problematic things, Patty's things.
Yeah.
Because she's a problematic character.
You remember that weird plot line with her mom?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I don't know. I don't even know what to think.
And that man?
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know.
Why is there so much child sexual abuse in this show as a theme?
Right. Okay, so...
Is the writer okay?
Probably not.
I didn't even think about that until now.
That's the second theme in the show.
Like, sexual abuse?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, between the false accusations and then Regina actually being predatorial and going to jail for it, and then Patty's mom and that guy. Ugh.
Yeah, it's a gross show. That's the final judgment. Gross show. Gross.
My judgment on this show and my seasoned review is gross.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Very nice.
I feel satiated on amount of gross things to see in my entire lifetime.
So you're not insatiable.
I'm not insatiable.
Cool.
Thank God.
Because apparently it's...
Because if you're insatiable, it ends in murder.
Yeah. Just go ahead and kill someone. You might as well. Don't wait until the end of the season.
Just do it at the beginning.
Go to jail, please.
That guy was stupid.
Yeah.
All of these characters are stupid.
Yes, they are.
And lack any moral compass. It's like the writer wrote these characters and then like popped their little heads open and took out their conscience and threw it in the wind. Sew them back up, sent them on their way.
Yeah, that's...
Yep.
It's a good description.
Or ability to stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
Except for Nani.
Right.
And her girlfriend.
It's a...
It tried way too hard for something that it was never going to accomplish.
Yeah. I really thought it was going to solve problems. It just created more.
It seems like it's set up for a season 2, though.
Yeah,
which I am sad about.
Yeah, Netflix churns out those seasons like crazy. They don't care. Man got written off of House of Cards. Kevin Spacey's he's gone now. And
Really?
they're still continuing the show.
That seems like he's like the main guy.
Exactly.
What?
Robin Wright. I like Robin Wright, so I'm gonna watch it. But like, the fact that they're gonna continue the show is crazy to me.
That is crazy. It seems like they should not do that.
Probably not.
Sometimes shows go on for longer than what is good.
Okay. Yep.
Like Roseanne.
Yeah, that's back. Well, it was
It
back.
got canceled because she's racist.
Right. That's right. I forgot about that. Huh.
Yeah.
Good.
But it was bad. Did you watch any of that season?
I watched 2 episodes and I didn't know where I was in America because that didn't exist. That doesn't exist. That place was not fucking real because, oh man,
It was weird, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I also watched about 2 episodes and then was like, I'm out.
Like, it was just, I don't, that's really all I got.
Look at Roseanne Barr and say, ah.
Anger and confusion.
Ugh. Yeah. And it's weird with that show because Roseanne used to be very, like, progressive. And,
Right.
and you know, it wasn't politically charged very much at all. It was, like, a story of, you know, a working family. And the way that it ended was that, I don't know if you noticed this in the first episode of the new season or not, but the way that Roseanne ended was that the last season had been like a dream, basically, because John Goodman, had died of a heart attack, and then Roseanne kind of lost her mind and then dreamed up this situation similar to Insatiable, where it's like a daydream.
What the fuck? I did not know this.
Yeah. It's super fucked up, man. Roseanne has this daydream where the Connors, like, have another baby and win the lottery and then become super rich and get all of their dreams, and it's beautiful. But then, like, at the end, the very last episode of Roseanne, it's like she's writing a novel, and then she's like, but unfortunately none of that stuff happened because Dan died, etc., etc. I'm very sad. And then her children come into her writing room and they're like leaving the house or whatever. And so when they brought it back, everybody was like, how can you undo that, Roseanne? But she just did it.
I guess just saying fuck you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I guess.
basically...
Fuck you, I have political things to say, and
Yeah.
this is my only platform. I'm Roseanne Barr.
Oh.
Time to be racist on Twitter.
Yeah. Why did she have to do that? I don't know.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
I liked her a lot growing up.
It was one of those shows that was like a staple of American TV.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked.
It's comforting.
Yeah.
It's one of those sitcoms that's just a comfort. At least to me. I like it. They're always wearing plaid and eating beans and stuff.
Oh, wow.
You know, the
That's
life to live.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's my goal. Kind of. No.
You want to wear plaid and eat beans all the time?
I like plaid. Not the biggest fan of beans.
Really?
Like, they're okay.
But you're not, like, going to seek them out in large quantities?
Definitely not.
Wow.
I'm not going to down like a can of beans on my own. Because that's weird. I'm sorry. But that's not a thing I could do.
That's what I call Tuesday night.
Ooh.
It's a bad one.
That's...
On purpose, though.
Yeah, that's why it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's... TV is falling apart.
Yes, that's the overall idea behind this episode.
Yes.
Oh.
TV is falling apart in America. What?
I just remembered something. But
What do you remember?
We didn't do an intro.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's okay. This is Not Enough Podcast. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Cael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the intro.
Cool.
At the end. I just forgot, so...
That's okay. They don't need that.
Yeah, they don't really need to know. Just two people talking.
They're just talking about Insatiable. In a disjointed and aggravated way.
Yes.
It is aggravating.
It is. You should experience it the way that we experienced the show. So...
Yeah.
That's fair.
That is fair. I mean, that's how reviews should be. Unbiased.
Yes.
Thought splatter.
Oh, gosh. Well, do you have any other thoughts about Insatiable or TV in general?
Insatiable and TV. I just want them to do better.
Yes.
They need to stop making shows clickbait. You know?
Okay.
I feel like that's what's been happening.
Yeah.
is they get stuff that's controversial, like Roseanne's reboot and 13 Reasons Why and Insatiable and several others that have come out recently, and they're like, this is going to get a lot of foot traffic because it is clickbaity.
Right.
But that isn't what makes good television.
No, it's not. It's good writing and good acting and good stuff.
And a cohesive plot,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Something that makes sense. Something that's easily digestible.
Right.
And even if it's like a difficult show to watch, like Breaking Bad was not always easily digestible. That was really good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't pandering to anybody or anything. It was just, you know, what it is.
Right. Well, that's it for Not Enough Podcast. You were introed, and now it's the outro. I've been Brandon.
I've been Cael.
And this has been Not Enough Podcast. Thanks for listening. Also, sorry for missing the last episode on Monday. Storm knocked us out for